The creator of all life is creating and sending a new revelation. And you have allies in the universe who are not allowed to interfere with your world, but who have sent information in the form of a set of briefings to help prepare humanity to learn how to establish its own rules of engagement with intelligent life, and to emphasize the need to establish your own ethics of contact. For you do not want to be the unwitting recipients of whatever anyone else wants to do here. You have a responsibility as the native peoples of the world to establish a boundary to space and to determine who may enter here and under what circumstances, reflecting the will and the awareness of the people of Earth. Such rules of engagement and boundaries do not now exist, and this is leaving you open and vulnerable. If you could understand the reality of life in the universe and gain vision and wisdom here, you would see how necessary it is for you to establish these boundaries, to give this your great focus, and how much this could generate, out of necessity, a functional human unity and cooperation, despite the grave differences and conflicts that still exist between peoples and nations and the world. It is those who feel the strongest connection to the greater community who will help educate others, providing wisdom, sharing this new revelation, contemplating what is being presented here, considering its implications for humanity, and realizing how weak and divided humanity is in the face of great united forces in the universe. Surely this must prompt an emphasis on human unity and cooperation, the cessation of conflict and the necessity of giving the world's focus, energy and attention to this great matter. For you will have only one opportunity to emerge into a greater community of intelligent life. How this is carried out and the wisdom you can bring to bear here will have great consequences for your future. That is why the new message and this revelation are being given to warn and to prepare humanity for the two great events of your era, the great waves of change and your emergence into a greater community of intelligent life. The world is ripe for visitation. You are vulnerable to persuasion and manipulation. You have not established your rules of engagement, nor have you built your boundaries to space. All native peoples must do this in their respective worlds. It is part of their essential responsibility in order to provide stability and security. And you must learn to preserve your resources so that your self-sufficiency can be maintained in the world. For this will be of essential importance in determining the kinds of choices you will have in the future and the prospects for humanity's freedom and sovereignty in this world. This is challenging and difficult. Many will turn away frightened or go into denial. But you are still connected to the greater community. You have allies in the greater community. You yourself likely have important relationships out there somewhere, living in the vastness of space. You have a destiny in the greater community. If you are aware of this connection, you will see that the greater community cannot be avoided or ignored. It is the greatest event in human history to begin to engage with intelligent life in the universe. But it is not happening on your terms, and you must look at this with clear and objective eyes. You must have this courage and this sobriety. The greater community is a challenging environment. It is not for the faint of heart, for thrill seekers or for those who want to enrich themselves either financially or spiritually. It is a difficult environment, but a magnificent one, and one that provides all of the incentives and requirements for a young emerging race such as humanity to gather itself together, to unite itself, to dedicate itself, to establish itself, to defend itself and to recognize its great value, its great talents and its wisdom that have been accumulated over a very long period of time. Religion now will have to become a religion that can function within a greater community context. It cannot be anchored in the distant past. For the future will overtake the past. The future will be so demanding it will overtake this reference to the past. Your great religious traditions must now accept they are functioning in a greater community of intelligent life. And the reality and the understanding of the divine presence, purpose and activity here on earth and beyond must be reconsidered. The notions of heaven and hell must be reconsidered, or these religions will not be able to survive into the future. They will become increasingly irrelevant to the pressing and important needs of humanity. It will not be enough to believe in God if you cannot experience and follow what God has placed within you to experience and to follow, a deeper knowledge and a greater power. Nor can antiquity really teach you what is happening now. Ancient prophecies are not as revealing as current events in this matter. Do not try to connect the future and the past, For you are emerging into a future that will be unlike the past in so very many ways. Your children and their children will be living in a world that your parents could hardly recognize, facing problems and opportunities that were not of concern to even your most recent ancestors. Look to the present. Look to the future. Watch what is coming over the horizon in your own world. Look at the stars in the sky, and consider them in light of the revelation that has been provided for you here, and ask yourself, why am I so drawn to this? Why is this of interest to me? What is my connection to life beyond this world? Do not worry about the rest of humanity. It is better to devote your energy to discovering your own inner orientation than it is to criticizing or evaluating others. If you are amongst the first to respond to the reality and the meaning of the greater community, then that is your calling. Do not look over your shoulder wanting and expecting others to have the same response, for if you do, you will be disappointed. This is for you and for others like you who are drawn to this greater reality, drawn because it is of the utmost importance, drawn because it has something to do with who you are and why you are here in the world at this time. This is part of the world you have come to serve. The greater community will have ever greater bearing and significance for the future of humanity and for everything that is occurring in the world today. The greater community will determine the requirements that must be placed upon humanity: the requirement to end war, the requirement to establish a greater unity and cooperation, the requirement to establish a boundary to space and discernment in space, the requirement to establish your own rules of engagement and to concern yourselves with what ethics you will bring to bear, considering who you will respond to and how you will respond and what is appropriate and what is inappropriate regarding your engagement with life beyond this world. Here many more people will have to wake up to the reality that the earth is being visited and has been for a long time. This cannot be some kind of exciting fascination. It has to be a sober reality. This is part of the condition of the world that you live in now and will be an ever greater part of your world as you proceed forward. You who have a greater community connection will have to function without agreement from others, without approval from others, even amongst your friends and family. It represents integrity to do this, and strength it will add determination. Study what is being revealed in these pages, which are but a part of the teaching in the greater community way of knowledge. Learn as much as you can from this revelation, and bring this understanding to bear upon the world you see and the decisions that you feel you must make within your own life. Do not denigrate humanity. Do not lose faith in human leadership or human institutions. Do not think that humanity cannot meet its great challenges and problems. For if you do, you will have capitulated to the will and influence of those who are intervening in the world, and you will have given up before your strengths were ever really tested. Be careful here not to lose faith in yourself and in the human family. With this faith, you can do amazing things. But without it, nothing will be done. Humanity's future and destiny are within a greater community of intelligent life. To know that future, you must learn about the greater community. This requires a revelation from beyond the world, from the Creator of all life, a revelation that can only come from a greater source. This will give you the context in which to understand how to see life in the world and beyond, how to prepare for the future, and the great need for a greater community education to be given to people everywhere, to average citizens, to people in positions of power and influence, to the scientific community and to the religious community. In every aspect of human life, a greater community understanding and awareness are necessary. This is to prepare humanity for the future and to offset the damaging influences that are being placed upon humanity at this time from intervening races who are seeking to plant ideas in humanity's mind that will undermine its strength, its power and its wisdom. For the world is already being influenced by certain groups from the greater community. This is part of your reality now. Extraterrestrial life will not be some distant fantasy, but a growing reality and a growing emphasis. This will break through the veil of secrecy and ridicule that has surrounded it in the past century to come back into people's minds, conversations and awareness. It is a matter of great importance and great significance. You will have an opportunity to share what you are learning with others, but at the moment there is no real education in the world about the greater community. That is why this new revelation is here. That is why it is called to you. Many people want answers. They want to know dates, names and places. But these are meaningless. You will not be able to visit these places for a long time. It is the perspective and understanding that are necessary. Without this, no matter how much information you have, you will still not see the picture clearly. It will still be utterly confusing to you. You will still think it is what you want it to be. Here wisdom will be replaced by fascination, imagination and the projection of one's hopes and beliefs. Greater community education must begin. It is natural for those who are connected to the greater community to gravitate towards this and to take an interest here. Do not be worried that humanity remains ignorant, for education can spread quickly, for there are many people in the world today who have a greater community connection. Once they hear about the greater community and learn about the reality of the greater community, they will become ignited. It will speak to them, for they are already connected to it. The great unseen spiritual forces that exist in your world will support this wisdom and this education, for it is vital for humanity's future. It is vital for humanity's education and understanding of what must be done in the world now and where the strength to do what must be done will come from. You are part of the greater community. You have always lived in the greater community. And now it is time for humanity to emerge into the greater community, which was always its destiny.